The Trim Ejector Pin Head feature in the Expert Moldbase extension has been improved to give you more control. On the screen you can see our tutorial Moldbase design. Reviewing the model, I noticed that there are several ejector pin heads interfering. Go to the EMX Components tab, expand the Ejector Pin Overflow menu and open the Trim Ejector Pin Heads feature. Trimming ejector pin heads will always be defined in pairs, so the first thing you need to do is to decide the mode determining which one of the two pins should get trimmed. We will proceed with the default mode and select two interfering pins, and you can see that only the first pin of this pair got trimmed. Additionally, you can now control the gap size between the pins, which here is set to 1 mm. Let's switch the trim mode to both pins and continue the trim process. If you want to see an overview of all trim pairs, open the pairs page on the dashboard. Listed here are our 3 pairs so far. Selecting an entry will highlight both pins belonging to this pair. Furthermore, you can see the diameters of the ejector pin heads and the corresponding gap between them. It is always possible to redefine the trim mode of an existing trim pair by choosing one of the options below the pin image. For pair 3, let's switch the mode to second pin and change the gap size to 0.1 mm and hit enter. I'm going to confirm the trim dashboard and go back to the Moldbase assembly. If I reopen the trim feature, all previously trimmed pairs are still listed on the pairs page. And I will add more pairs to the list by selecting many of these interfering pins in the current mode, both pins. Whenever you want to zoom on one of the trim pairs, select the entry in the list and click on the zoom icon below. On the other hand, if you see a trim pin in the graphics window while working and you want to know the pair, click on the binoculars icon and select the pin model, which will highlight the pair in the list that this pin belongs to. You can also change the highlight colors of the pin models by clicking on the colors icon. Let's change the highlight color for pin 1 from red to pink. I'm going to confirm the trim feature and once again reopen it. You can remove any trim pair by clicking on the remove icon. Additionally, you can discard all changes of trim pairs by closing the trim feature dashboard without confirmation. For example, I'm going to remove pair number 10 and change the trim mode and gap size for pair number 9. Now leaving the trim feature without confirmation is going to undo the changes on pair 9 and reassemble pair number 10. Lastly, you can review your work on the ejector pin heads by reopening the interference page on the dashboard, and here you can highlight all pin pairs that are still interfering and need to be trimmed. Hence, your work should be completed when none of these pairs are highlighted anymore.